Are you ready to run your short-term rental business like a superhost? If so, look no further than Guesty for Hosts. Guesty for Hosts offers listing management for all three major OTAs, Airbnb, Booking.com, and VRBO. With Guesty for Hosts, you can create a branded direct booking website in minutes. I've been able to hit 61% direct bookings in my business and automate daily tasks such as communication with cleaners and communication with guests. Click the link in the show notes to get an additional $20 off your first month.
Welcome to Live, Let, Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Micah and Steve.
Hello.
And welcome back to another exciting episode
of Live,
Let,
Thrive. What is up, Micah, man?
I am good. I'm good on this good Friday evening. How about yourself?
I'm freaking worn out, dude.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I had to go across town to show one of our places to a potential long-term stayer, long-term travel nurse wanted to check it out. And I happen to have to go by that place because we're Airbnb-ing it currently, and I picked up some bags of trash. So I took my truck. My truck don't have AC. So, and it's like 110 degrees outside or whatever. So I was frying in there, dude. And but then my wife and the kids are at the mall. They wanted me to go over there, tax-free freaking weekend right now. So that was just a chaotic. I'm worn out, dude, but I'm happy. It's Friday. We're going to do a great podcast. And we have a special guest on. This is episode 217, by the way, of your favorite Airbnb VRBO, booking.com. You talk about booking.com. Furnish finders, all that fun stuff, midterm, short-term, long-term rentals in the world podcast. And we have a special guest, Micah.
Who we got, Steve?
Well, I am glad you asked. Certain Luca Zambello. And you want to know about Luca?
Yeah.
Okay, welcome to the show, Luca, by the way. How you doing?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I'm glad you're going to bring it today. I know you are, because I'm not going to do no work today because I'm worn out. So you could do the whole thing, right? Is that cool? All right. Luca is Zambello is the co-founder and CEO of Jurny, the hospitality tech company powering operations and modern guest experiences for top independent hotel brands, vacation and short-term rental properties. Wow, short and sweet, precise. Jurny's a big deal, man. We hear about you all the time. We've seen your commercials, following us everywhere we go on the internet. So welcome to the show. And yeah, how did you get started in this short-term rental industry?
Yeah. Well, thank you again for having me. I've been in the industry for a little bit over a decade. Started managing luxury homes here in LA. Then from there, I went more on the urban management and basically run like a management company and managed over 200 listings. We were Dallas, Nashville, Miami, New York. I've been very, very many different locations. Start scaling the business. We were scaling it quite a bit. And while I was doing that, I kind of realized that there was some problems with the industry. I mean, I think there's many, but I think the biggest problem for us was the lack of technology. We realized, if you really want to scale something in hospitality, especially if you're scaling Airbnbs, the biggest challenge that you have is that you're going to be spread out. And it's really hard to have centralized resources similarly to an hotel. And so that was a big problem. So we knew that it could be fixed by technologies, but technologies were very hard to get, very hard to understand what is the right technology to use, and really hard to make them work well together. And that's kind of what inspired Jurny, to really make technology more accessible for the everyday hosts, and at the same time helping hosts to fully automate their operation and the guest experience.
Okay, so you've been in this game for how long, you say?
A little bit over a decade.
Okay. And can you explain to listeners what Jurny is?
Yeah, definitely. So Jurny helps basically aggregate in one single place all the tools that you need to run a real automated operation. What that means is, today you get a PMS, right? That's how the industry is being built. And this PMS needs to be able to work with multiple different providers. For instance, if you want to work with pricing, your PMS needs to be probably have the ability to integrate with with a minimum of 15 to 20 tools. And then you go into the lock access control system. If they integrate with somebody, they will probably integrate with multiple different vendors. You go into the property care app, like a breezeway of the situation, and they have to do the exact same thing. So the problem is that there's a couple problems there. One is that there's more and more services that are focused on specific verticals. So you have more of these service providers. And at the same time, the industry is becoming more and more complex. So what we did is we said, hey, what if we were to build a platform that is already built? You don't have to build any integrations. You don't have to do anything. Everything is already built. So it all work flawlessly together. And every integration that we build is a vertical integration with a single vendor that we want to work with and partner with. So as a user experience now, you have one platform, one dashboard, and your pricing tool is there. You don't have to worry about it. Your ability to connect your smart locks is already there, and you don't have to worry about it. Your ability to communicate with guests, connect with different channels, the guest verification software is going to be all there and integrated. Your guest mobile app is connected to our system, and then you have a guest mobile app and everything works flawlessly together as a single system. Versus now the environment is you having to go out there and build your own system that doesn't really work that well together because it's not meant to be working together. The best way I describe it is very early stage, go build your own PC versus buying a MacBook Pro.
Gotcha.
Nice. Now who is Jurny built for? Is it built for the small host with one property, medium host with 10 or 15, or the big host with 500 properties?
Yeah, it's a really good question because we think that although different people have different skills, they have different problems. One of the biggest challenges for us was going from being a small host of 1 unit to go over a couple hundred units. And ideally, I wanted to build a system that can help you to do that. And I think a big trend in the industry is that many things are consolidating. So the system that you want to have needs to be capable of doing many things. So one is you need to be able to do single families, but at the same time, you need to be able to do multi-families. And at the same time, you need to be able to do small boutique hotels or larger hotels. So I think because you don't know what the host journey is going to be, and you want to make sure that your system can adapt to all of these things, and the needs change completely. Like we see with the pandemic, so many people went from doing long-term short-term rentals on short-term stays to having to do long-term tenants or corporate housing, right? So you want that flexibility as a host. You want to be able to have that flexibility. So our system, I want to say, is for professional hosts. And I say if you have less than 5 properties, probably not completely necessary for us. Although we have people with 1 or 2 units that use our system, but our target is 5+ units all the way into the thousands because our system can scale to that.
Wow, that's cool. So do you charge a percentage, 10% of the gross, or how do you make your money off of helping hosts?
Yeah, we have 3 different pricing structure based on how many things how a host needs. So because we're a management company, we kept a lot of the team that we had, like for example, customer support, people that were doing pricing and all of that. So if you need a pricing team, accounting, and all those services, we layered on top of the software. So if you buy just the software, you pay just for the software. It's and it's a small monthly fee on a per unit base. So it can go as little as $19 a unit per month to $59 a unit per month, depending on how many services you get into the package. And then if you want services and the full package, we can go on a rev share with you, basically.
Okay. And then, like you said, services. So, like, what service do you offer? Like, do you offer the cleaning, all of that? Is that all in one, or how does that work?
No, yeah. So it's only digital services. So what it means is, like, for instance, smaller hosts have a harder time to do 24/7 inquiry support and 24/7 guest support, right? So we can offer you what we call virtual front desk. So you have a team of people that do 24/7 coverage for you. We can offer you revenue management. So obviously we give you the pricing tool, but pricing tool is just 50% of the work. You need somebody who's actually going to do the pricing strategy using that pricing tool. So we have experts that we can give you for that. And then we have things like as well as accounting. So being able to create reportings and reconciliation and giving you like details reports. So you minimize, again, the infrastructure that you have to have.
Okay. So let's just say I have 15 properties, right? And I just want to be done with them. I just want to collect a check. Can I just hand those over to Jurny and you guys will handle everything? Or I just want to make sure, how does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we don't do the management side of things. So the on-ground management. So anything that is on ground, we help you automate as much as possible. So that your main thing is going to be probably like scheduling cleaning, right? But we'll give you an app that does that. So that automatically you're going to have like an automatic schedule for the cleaners. And we will handle like guest supports and customer service. But at the same time, if there is an issue happening in the units, is ultimately your responsibility. So we don't want to replace a management company in any way, shape, or form. We want to be a support of somebody who wants to be a manager.
God,
that's cool. You work with the management team. It's funny. I texted my partner, because me and my partner in business, Federico. We run a short-term rental management company. We have over 70 units now, right, that we manage.
Nice.
And yeah, thank you. And so anyways, he's some units that we're taking over is they're connected with Jurny already. So I asked him, I said, hey, I'm interviewing the founder of Jurny. You want me to ask him a question? And he had a question. He said, how do y'all leverage owners' expectations in terms of refund and resolutions?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a good. That's a very insider question. Awesome. Yeah. So that's again, that's not, if you're using just the software, that wouldn't necessarily apply, right? But if somebody's using our services, when we provide customer support, our goal is, and obviously we coordinate that with the host and the management company, what their goals are. Like, we understand that if a guest is pissed, you want to make sure that you give some type of compensation, some type of refund to prevent that guest from giving you a negative review. Mm-hmm. So our go-to strategy will be to handle with some type of a refund. But if the if the management company says that's not how I want to handle my refunds, then obviously we're happy to work with them on a different strategy. But we recommend what we think is best strategy and what we found overall bringing the best ROI.
Gotcha. Now, what cities do you guys operate in? Because you said, because I know Steve just said he's taken over some. So what cities do you guys operate in?
Yeah. So, well, we're on all North America. We are many markets. Like I think again, we're market agnostic because we don't have an on ground people, right? And that depends on the host. We have hosts in Mexico. We have hosts all over actually Mexico. We're multiple destinations in Mexico and all over North America. We have a few in Europe, but our main focus is all North America. We're a lot of major cities in US.
Okay.
That's interesting, man. This is cool because so you saw all these moving parts, man. And I talked to we've been doing this podcast for over 5 years, and I talked to Micah back in the day, you know, and he helped me start my Airbnb journey. He's like, hey, you have to make the leap, man. Rent your house out on Airbnb when you move out of it instead of long-term rental. I was like, screw it, okay, man. So I threw it on Airbnb, and I'm like, now what, Micah? Is like, how do I do the pricing? Oh, you gotta get this Price Labs, or what was the other one? Beyond Pricing was like the first one, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
The first one were you.
then we interviewed the Price Labs dude, and we're like, he blew us away. We're like, oh shit, we'll do Price Labs then. And then that's how we learned this game. We're like, well, how are we going to improve? We'll just get every founder of the top companies that help people out on our show, and just pick their brains, like you. And so that helped us out on our own Airbnb and short-term rental journey. So anyways, so I said, okay, now what, Micah? He said that you need a pricing strategy. Okay, now what? You need this, you need that, you need a PMS. Now you need a PMS, and it's like, man, there's so many different parts to this thing, right? And then you must have seen that, noticed that, and like, I always said there needs to be something that puts all this together for somebody, because it's just too many different moving parts, and then sometimes the calendar won't sync in time, and then we get a double booking and all this crazy stuff. So you saw the problem. How did you go about putting it all together? What do? You go talk to some programmers and stuff? How does that work?
First of all, I'm so glad you said that, because it's 100% the issue that we're fixing. That the fact that is, if you want to be good at being a professional host, you have to do so much research and spend so much time on knowing what's good and how to put it together, and it still maybe not work.
Yeah.
So I think you just like hit the spot like there. Like it's exactly what was the biggest most frustrating point for me. And I think is like getting more complicated, not more simple, because there's more and more of everything that you can do, and it's hard to really focus on what's to do or not. So it's a great question. So we were running a profitable company as a management company, and what we did, we used our management company as the guinea pig to build this system first. Just our goal in the beginning was to become a sender. That's how we started. A sender that was very much tech enabled and leverage technology to really scale. So that's the first thing that we did. But then when we realized how big the problem was, we said, hey, instead of just scaling a management company, why don't we create a tool for other people? Good question, because how did I start like the whole development side of things? Well, I'm originally from Europe, from Italy, to be more precise, and I'm lucky because I have a good network of people that are programmers and engineers, and I think the market in Italy is not as competitive as the US market. So I was able to put together a very strong team over there, and we start working on this project. Once some investors seen the potential, we were able to raise quite a bit of capital and really double down on this project. It was not easy. It took several years into the making, and I think this is the first of its kind in our industry, but I for sure think it's not going to be the last. So we'll see how things evolve.
Nice. Do you have any major competitors in this?
So that's the thing, we don't. Like, there's tons of competition on the PMS side of things. There's I don't know how many PMSs there are. There are many companies that do individually some of the things that we do, like access control system, for instance. There's a few companies that do that. But no, there's no really what I call aggregators that put it all together and offer into a simple solution. Because nobody's thought of that yet, I guess. And it's not easy either to do it. So yeah, so I think it's a combination of things.
So let's just say, because I'm actually kind of interested, because one thing that stood out to me is your 24/7 front desk, right? So with that 24/7 front desk, that's basically communication with the guests, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So how much would someone pay you Like how much, like, hey, they come to Jurny, say, hey man, I just need somebody to communicate with these guests. I just want to be done with it. How much would somebody pay you for something like that?
Yeah, so they will need to use our software, so there will be the software fee, and then we charge about $40 a unit per month, depending on the size of the client. And or we can be on a rev share model, like I said. If we offering a lot of the services where we also manage revenue and accounting, then we go on a rev share with the clients. And some clients prefer pay a flat fee per month. Some prefer to be on a rev share.
That's awesome, because I actually went to view two units today where someone may want me to take over like the management side, but like when I'm talking to these people, they just don't want to talk to guests. So it's like I just don't want to talk to guests. I don't want to let them in and out, So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I could take that and then pass that over to someone else. Because right now, the big thing with like Steve knows this is hiring a VA to do it. But if you already come with that package, because it sounds like you're more like you guys are like a fine-tuned VA package. Is that, what I'm saying? Like you guys have, but it's all in tech instead of, with people.
Yeah. So we believe we did two things. One, we changed the game on the software side of things, and that's one thing. But we layer on top really good quality services because we had them built already. We built a top class customer service, and we're like, why are we just gonna get rid of it? Well, we can offer to other hosts, and they're gonna take great advantage of it. Because, like you said, yeah, you can have a VA, but it took me 5 years to build a really strong VA team between Philippines and Mexico. Yeah, you can go, but you need to understand the culture. You need to understand how to capture the right talent. You need to make sure that they are trained properly. It's not easy, especially to have a good quality service. So that was not the initial and final goal of the company, but we had it anyways because we said, hey, listen, we have it, and it's something that we can offer and something that a lot of people are going to find great value to it. On top of that, what's amazing is that they're all already trained to work on our software. So what happened is that this VA team that you have at your disposal, they're also going to help you like scheduling ticketing, scheduling cleaners, because they all know how the system works. So that's really what's amazing, because I think the single system, if you take a single service or a single thing that we do, is not special, but when you put it all combined into one solution, that's what makes it really special and takes it to the next level.
So what made you stop short of just being like a full management company instead of just giving them all the tools where they can manage more efficiently?
I think that people get into management for different reasons. And in the end of the day, you got to pick one thing and do it best. And we realized, we said, hey, we need to be either the best management company or best technology company. We can't do both. And we said, I'm sure we're going to fix the same issue that a lot of people have, where they get into property management and they don't want to have to do anything to do with technology and knowing technology. Why studying technology? So I said, you know what? My passion is technology. I got into the management because I wanted to build a automated management company. But in the end of the day, I said, that's not where I see my passion, being a manager. I see my passion in technology. So I decided to focus on that and said, you know what? I think I can build something that actually can help other managers be better at doing what they're doing and maybe like enjoy more what they're doing. I think more importantly.
I like that. I like that you made that decision. You didn't try to do everything. You did exactly what your strengths were. And then so what's cool also, you said you even have like that version for, was like all the way down to $19.99, right? And,
Yep.
and if you think about it, like most pricing apps that we just the pricing apps cost around that much, but you come with so much more than that.
Definitely. Yeah, we wanted to combine multiple different tools and make it at an affordable price. I think even the highest packets are something that are still considered affordable. Obviously, there's like some real cheap products out there, where you can get a PMS for very cheap. About what can you do with it, right? That's the end goal. I think when you think about the business, you have to think overall. What's your true cost? That's something that a lot of people don't know. How much is your time worth? What if you can spend your time more doing other things, growing your business, or doing more what you like? What is that worth? So I think that there's when it comes down to deciding what's the right prices,
Nice.
there's a lot of things to think about.
Yeah, tons. And so here's something that came up with us because and Micah too, you know, excuse me, a guest on our show and a founder of a company called Boostly. You ever heard of Boostly before? They build websites for short-term rental managers. Mark Simpson.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been in all the circuits, you know, all the short-term rental plate. You know, he's a cool dude. He came on our show. And it blew us away, and we both ordered some some custom websites to be more
Nice.
of a direct booking company, right? And try to, so we won't be beholden to Airbnb and VRBO. You know, we could get a lot of people to book direct. That's our whole goal. And so one of the things was he works, his websites that he builds works with most of the PMSs, right? Some better than others. Now your company, it's like it's the PMS is incorporated in your software.
That is correct. Yes.
And would Jurny be able to plug in to someone else's like direct booking website fairly easy?
Yes, but the way we will work is if we choose a vendor, we only work with that vendor. So we will select the best and say, okay, if we decide to work with that vendor, it's going to be so seamlessly integrated that you don't even know almost that there's a third-party person out there. Like, for instance, if I were to show you for our pricing, we choose Wheelhouse. If I were to show you how you manage pricing on our software, you don't even see Wheelhouse. I mean, we tell you that it's powered by Wheelhouse, but you don't even see it. You have pricing suggestions for your units from Wheelhouse, and you can make manual changes right there and there, and the pricing shoots out everywhere. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to connect to anything. You don't have to create a login. You don't have to have another subscription. Everything is into the same system. You see everything in one place. And I think that's what's powerful, right? So we have our own website builder tool, but if we were to realize that, hey, we're not the best at to do website builder, so maybe we choose to work with a vendor. That's what we did with pricing. That's what we did with the guest verification system. We integrate with I should remember the name of who we integrate with. AutoHost. Sorry, I lack a second. So for instance, we integrate with AutoHost. But this is what's so cool. You know what AutoHost said to me, like when they start working with us, they said, "What's cool with Jurny is that makes the tools better." So AutoHost with Jurny is better. Why? Because we build an integration to only work with a AutoHost. We don't want to work with other people. We say, you know what? You guys are the best of the industry. We want you. So we want you for guests to feel like that AutoHost is completely embedded into our system. And you will see it that is embedded. So a guest gets verified and all the information you would normally see on AutoHost is onto the same system. But it's also connected to your reservation that you see in your PMS, which is ours. And you can accept or deny a specific reservation manually right there, or have an automated system that does it. Automated way of charging security deposit because your payment terminal is connected to our system. Everything is fully automated. Access control system, that's another example, like remote control of doors, right? Having codes that automatically update every time there is a reservation. We looked at every system that are out there. None of them were good for us as a management company. So guess what? We built our own. But we're not in the business of building those tools. We do them because we realize that to have the best system, you have to have the best of the best for each thing, and it needs to work flawlessly. So when it doesn't exist, we build it. But if it does exist, we integrate with them, and we make sure that it is this seamless integration. Our next partner is Breezeway, where we're working on a very strong integration with them, again, to make their tool better with Jurny than without.
I finally see I see why your platform is for people with 5+, because what you're doing is once you start getting, 5, 10, you're going to need tech, right? And what's most people's biggest hang up right now? They don't know tech. So I love that you guys taking all the tech, like, hey, we're going to go get the best tech, and you guys are in the tech industry, so you know what the best tech is. And then you kind of simplify it and package it for them. That's now finally, I'm like, oh, I see what you did. See, because I have a tech mind. So I'm like, oh, you're taking it from the end user who doesn't know what he's doing, and I'll just package it for you. I love that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really smart. I love that.
You know what it reminds me of, right? So a lot of people use the WordPress to make websites, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like our website, liveletthrive.com is a WordPress website, and I've been asking Micah for a while, hey, give me the login, I'm gonna mess around, try to make it better. And I'm not a tech guy. I'm not a freaking tech guy, right? And so I look at I've done some GoDaddy stuff where it holds your hand, walks you through it, boom, 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 it's done. It looks pretty. And then I opened that WordPress, and I was like, what the heck is this, man? It was like it was a whole different language for, I couldn't, my brain didn't know what to do with all that stuff, all this technical terms all the way on the left side of the screen. You do this, you do this, and buttons and this. But so that makes me think of what your company is, when someone just gets started, because that's people at work ask me all the time, hey, I want to get started, I want to get an arbitrage, I want to do this, how do I do this, so wait, you need this pricing tool, you need this, you need turnover BNB, you need all this other, you need all these different things, and they're just looking at me like a deer in the headlights, right? And so what was cool about your company, and taking it back to the website thing, just poking around on WordPress, I'm like, it makes me look like a deer in the headlights. But then I go to GoDaddy and it does it all for me. All that stuff's in the background, but in front, hey, put your name here, put your title here, put the boom, and it makes it beautiful for you. And that's what you're doing with this with your system. And that's pretty cool. It makes it simple for people that aren't tech people like me. And it makes it a nice, pretty package, and then that's all you got to do. It's a plug and play. I love it.
That's perfect, man. Steve's your customer.
I'm
He's your perfect customer. I get it. Okay, I'm like,
now
the guy you're targeted.
If I was running my company, by myself, yeah, I'm his perfect customer. But I have a feta, and he's a tech guy. He can do all this shit. But he does like working with Jurny from the units we're taking over from somebody that's already connected with Jurny. I even asked him, I was like, so what? I didn't understand what the heck Jurny was, right? I was like, well, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna dump Jurny? He's like, no, we're gonna keep it. It's gonna work in conjunction. We're gonna be the managers of their properties, but we're gonna still use Jurny on top of their properties. It's gonna all work together. And I just, how does that work? To me, I couldn't get it until now, until you explained it, what you are. To me, I was like, why don't we just dump them, and then we don't have to pay that percentage? But he said, no, I really like the tools that they offer. He had some questions, but he's really enjoying. He doesn't see it as a hindrance towards managing their property. He sees it, it's going to make things a little simpler for us to take on their 15 properties or whatever we're taking on.
100%. Yeah, that's our goal. I mean, but the problem is the same problem you have. I'm telling you, even people that are very tech savvy have the same exact problems, because at the end of the day, I mean, you got to pick your battles. And if you are going to be good at being a property manager, there's so many other things that you have to take care of, right? Like, how do your units look? How do your units feel? What's your guest experience? Like, how do you maximize your revenue inside of your units? Like, how do you maximize the exposure? How do I drive direct bookings? How do I grow my inventory? How do I manage all these different owners or master leases or whatever I want to do? Like, that's more than a single business by itself. I know, because I did it for a long time. And at the same time, you have to keep up with everything else that is happening. The dream solution is to have a software that does it all and does it great. And that's what our mission is.
And one thing, I'm happy you said, even if you are tech savvy, you're still going to have an issue. And I 100% agree, because if you're trying to scale, you have to teach all these people all this tech stuff, and you still have to teach them how to troubleshoot. So I came from like a networking troubleshooting background. So like when someone says, like a guest may say, hey, the TV doesn't work and the internet's down. A VA doesn't know to go in there and troubleshoot it. They'll just assume the internet's down. They're trying to get in touch with I'm like, dude, just check the TV. If the TV's connected to the internet, it's a personal problem on them. The internet's up. So yeah, I love that you guys did that. I think this is going to really grow into something huge because most people aren't tech savvy and they don't want to have to train it either. So that's I like that. I may have to. I'll be speaking with Jurny here in the future.
Awesome.
Yeah, and what else is gonna make it grow huge is being on Live Let Thrive. So there you go.
Yes, sir.
You're welcome, Luca. So you like we have a famous Luca here in Dallas, Luca Doncic. You know him?
Oh no.
Basketball player extraordinaire.
Basketball. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I am a motorsport fan, Formula One and soccer. Those are my sports. I'm still like very Italian on my way of watching sport.
Well, the basketball people are hopping into Formula One. Didn't Michael Jordan just buy a Formula One over there?
Well, I see a lot of basketball people going to watch Formula One, but I'm sure there's something happening. It became very popular now in US, so it's cool. It's good to see now growing that sport growing here in US.
Yeah, there's a big Formula One race in Austin that's huge, man. So we got to go check that out. I heard it's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And Federico, he's Argentinian, right? So Argentinians think that they're Italian and European, right? So
yeah.
So of course his favorites is soccer and Formula One. Those are his favorite sports too.
Nice.
It's and he makes a pretty good espresso. Pretty good. Not as good as mine, but it's pretty good.
So if you don't mind telling us, who are the vendors that, someone who's coming in, like who are the vendors that you guys work with? Like, I know you guys said you created your own lock system, which is absolutely cool, especially if you dedicate it to your own people. But like, let's say someone's using Turnover B&B, they want to come in or whatever. Who have you partnered with? Like, you have a list of, hey, this is who we partnered with, and is that public information?
Yeah, they're public information. Most of our partners. On the lock side, what we develop is the software. Like we integrate with specific lock brands like Yale, Salto, basically all the major ones that they're out there. When it comes down to tools specifically that we choose, Wheelhouse, How to Host, and Breezeway are the three main partners that we have right now. Everything else is kind of done internally, and then we obviously integrate directly with all the major OTAs. And then for what we don't integrate with, we created an integration with Rentals United. So we allow integration, for instance, for somebody who wants to use Alto Vita, although we're working with them to potentially create a direct integration, but for corporate housing, right? Or you want to integrate with Google. A lot of people now are asking for Google. Now we can do that through Rentals United. So those are the main tools that we work with and we integrate with. We also integrate with smart thermostats. So we have a few different brands of thermostats that we integrate with. But yeah.
You hit the biggest one on the head, because I made a bold prediction the other day, and people think I'm crazy. I said Google is about to be a powerhouse in the short-term rentals, and I told people, I said, and they were like, they just kind of wrote me off. They're like, these Airbnb people. I'm like, okay, Google's about to take over short-term rentals. Give it 5 years. So how has that integration worked? Like with Rentals United, like I still want to see one of the people, because I know like hotels still dominate Google. Like you can get on Google, type in a hotel, you can just book off Google. And I know Google's trying to make it so short-term rental people can do that. Like has that been successful for the people that are on Jurny? Like, hey, someone goes on to Google, they see a Jurny list and they just book it. And is that how it works?
So it's definitely something that is trending up, and we found that some hosts have started finding a good source of revenue. So yeah, it's trending up, right? And people look at trends. So it's something to definitely keep an eye on. But like everything, different properties perform differently on different channels, right? You have a single family home and it's a 4-bedroom single family home. You probably really want to be on VRBO, right? But if you're like maybe a 1-bedroom apartment in downtown Dallas, you probably don't care about VRBO. So it really varies. I think we found it pretty successful in urban settings. So smaller units, I think more similar to maybe a booking.com type of so we'll see, but it's growing.
Okay. I was really wanting to talk to someone who had who's really started to see what's happening, because I've been waiting. What I did so far was I created my Google site, which bounces back to my direct booking website. So I just really want to see, because I think they have an API that they have out that's in development phase. And I'm very interested in it, because it would be cool if someone could just, short-term rentals in Dallas, and you can just book them directly off Google. I'm not saying it'll put Airbnb out of the business, but that's some dangerous stuff for their business, for their company.
Oh, 100%. I think it's very early, so we don't know yet, but the potential is there. So 100%.
Yeah, man. This is why I love this short-term rental stuff. Oh, go ahead.
well, Google's they're gonna try to take over every market, right? They're gonna try to do everything because they even tried to outdo Facebook, which that didn't work too good, right? Google Plus. Yeah,
that didn't work too well.
That didn't work too well. Everybody was like, "What the hell is this?" I'm confused. But I have seen, like Micah was saying, you type in, sometimes I type in, I want to see a flight. I just say DFW to Guadalajara, Mexico, or something, just to check the flight, and then it comes up with prices, like to buy a ticket, and I was like, oh shit, Google's doing this now, and then they'll have a hotel prices too, and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have to type in kayak no more, it's all right here. But I still like kayak, I still go to kayak anyways.
True.
It's getting there, but it's not 100% there, but it's showing me some stuff.
But I think you said it right, and that's exactly what's happening. I think it's a trend. Why? Because I think they created some tools that help you just to do that. But until it becomes the norm for people to book directly on Google, and I think that's what's dangerous, right? If people start being like, okay, this is the way to do it, why do I go anywhere else? I could just go on Google and book it. That's where it starts becoming more dangerous, and people need to, keep an eye on that trend.
Now, Micah, have you done something like directly through Google yet? Like, have you looked up a flight or looked up and just, oh, Google's got one here for $79 a night, I'm gonna just click this one? Have you done that yet?
I haven't. Me, because I travel a little bit different. I use points to travel. Yeah. But think about it like this. You know how many people book hotels directly off Google? You can book them directly off Google. It's a whole bunch of people that do that, So how I was looking at it is, it's kind of like this, right? And who really put me on the Google thing? It was Al Williamson. And we need to get Al back on the show. He goes, think about it. Where does everyone go to find out anything? Google. Even if a person types in right now, hey, I want to stay in a cabin in Mexico, they can Google it. It may send you to Airbnb, but now let's just say it no longer sends you to Airbnb. Google starts popping up all this stuff. You're like, whoa, I can just book this cabin in Mexico. That's kind of the danger in Google, right? Because easily dominate a market.
Now, I've used it with shopping. Let's say I look up iPhone 11 and I was looking for one of those back in the, that's the iPhone 11, and then it'll pop up right across the screen. Here's the different places I have them for whatever. And then it has a shopping button, and you hit the shopping button, and okay, I could just get it straight from Google. It might send me through a third-party store, but they're still getting a cut of that, right?
Pretty sure the ad cut, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the click through or whatever.
If it's like ad spend, if it's advertised ad, then they get a
It's cool that Jurny's, and I'm happy that you guys said you're already ahead of that curve. You're already ready, because that shows me you guys are truly tech. You guys are ahead of that curve. You already see it. Hey, let's be on Google. So that's pretty cool, man.
So how would you step in? Let's say we got a lot of fans. They've been growing with us, you know what I'm saying? So they've started out with just a handful of under 5. But now we got a lot of fans or listeners that have around 20 or so units, right? And they kind of got their systems down a little bit. They kind of got some things plugged in, a PMS, and they got a VA or two, helping them out. How could you help someone? Like what can you do? Like if you had sat down and had a chat with them and said, okay, I see how you're doing your business, but this is how Jurny could help you do it better. How would you have that conversation with them?
Yeah, I mean, I would ask a few questions, and I would ask, how they're currently structured and organized. But especially when you start scaling, small things become very big things. Just something as simple as like changing the door code, it starts adding up when you have more and more guests and you have more and more units. Just making sure that all your channels are properly connected into a single system and into a single chat. Just making sure that your pricing is structured correctly and it's being spit out everywhere properly. Making sure that you're running some type of guest verifications. If you aren't, you're running some risks. What's your cost per year of not running any type of guest verifications, right? Like how many parties you have? Like having a party being thrown inside of your units, it may cost you a lot more than maybe the damage itself, but maybe you get kicked out as a tenant in that unit, right? Or in the whole building, you can't rent any more units. So there's so many things that become massive issues as you start scaling and you start growing. You just started feeling the pain at 20 units. And I think we fix a lot of these things. And again, we just take the issue of trying to figure things out and I promise you, when you think you have a handle on things, you actually don't, because you just started and you think you started understanding, but it's just like it gets that much more worse, and it never stops. It's this uphill battle that you constantly have to fight, and we constantly fight for you. So we want to be your partner, basically. You have your own VAs. Your VAs can use our system, and we're happy to show them how our system works, and they can run things on their own. And you save some money that way if you already have enough economy of scale to do that. Or if you don't want to have VAs, or VAs are not good enough, then I recommend trying out ours. But yeah, that's how we look at things. Our main goal was, how can you automate everything from receiving the reservation, not having to communicate anything, all the messaging, everything is automated. They get the checking informations with the updated dark code, with all the information that they need, stay at the unit. If they have any question, obviously there's VA, but hopefully they don't, and they check out and cleaners get an automated notification. So how do you do all of that in a safety environment and have it all connecting to a single system, so you minimize the amount of work you have to do? We really reduce, the bottom line is we reduce the amount of time that you have to spend to do what you do.
No, that's great, man. That's that's what you find out when you get to I think a lot of owners get to like around 20, or hosts get to around 20, and it hits a plateau. You're like, holy crap, it's too much. There's too much stuff going on. I'm juggling too many things. Even if someone come, hey man, I got 10 more units for you. You tell them there's no way I could take on 2 more. I can't. You have to turn people away. They hit this plateau until you figure it all out, which might take you a month or two to figure it out. So in the meantime, you're losing business.
I as a manager, I know exactly all the plateaus, and I tell you, and somehow it's round numbers, but you have your plateau at 20, 100%. You have like the first is like 5, right? When you're like getting to do something, the smallest plateau. Then you have 20, then you have the 50, then you have the 100 units plateau, which is like a massive one. And then when you pass the 100, you can go into a few hundreds, but you get like couple 100 to 300, and then that's another. photos. So all of those are steps that you have to take. And each time I tell you what you need to do, you need to rebuild your system, because the system you build is just good enough to get you to where you are. And so that's the reason why we thought about it. It's like, you need to have a system that holds your hand throughout your whole journey.
I like that. You dropped Jurny right there. That's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Good. I like that. Okay.
And so do y'all also integrate with like let's say Noise Aware or the other software?
We do.
Oh, cool. And it sends
Yeah, we
alerts
do.
automatically.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I forgot. I should have mentioned them. Noise Aware and Minute are our two strong partners that we have. They're fully integrated with us.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a huge Minute fan. Love them.
Yeah, I love Minute too. I don't want to compare them, but
Never,
they're like his kids. He loves them both the same, right?
yeah.
But one a little more than the other. So you mentioned VAs. Y'all got your own VAs. You have your own VAs.
Yes.
Go ahead.
We have a whole team that we can provide if somebody needs. That's correct.
So you provide. So they work for Jurny, but you can have them work for a host like me.
Correct. So the thing is, let's say you want to provide 24/7 customer support. You need 6 people because they have to provide 24/7. They have to work during weekends. You need 6 people. Will those 6 people work all the time? If they work for, let's even say 30 listings, they won't. So what if you can leverage those 6 people now and divide them for a couple hundred units? Now they're working full time, getting paid the same, but then you distribute the cost across maybe like 6-7 hosts versus all being in one host. Hey, you manage over 100 units, you probably want to have your full time VA team. Your sub 100, I don't think you need it.
Oh, that's interesting. That's cool. And where do your VAs usually come from? What area of the world? Mainly
Mexico and Philippines. That's where we build our teams.
That's interesting. Mexico. I don't hear that one too often. Why do y'all have why do you have VAs from Mexico? How does that work out good?
We actually found the rate is a bit higher, but the quality is higher as well. And another thing that we do, which is what most people do wrong, in my opinion, when they hire outside of US, is they try to say, okay, what's the cheapest rate, and they get that. You're gonna that's a big problem. You're gonna get the worst if you do that, because it happens in US, but it happens the exact same thing if you just think that way outside of US. So you get a VA and it sounds cheap, $600 a month or maybe less, but you're not getting that good quality. How much is it costing you in your business? And you're doing that because, again, you don't have economy of scale. So what we do, we actually pay double, sometimes 3 times what the entry rate is, but we hire the best. We really pay above what the market is. We offer healthcare. We offer benefits, and we get the best people and the most dedicated people. So that's how we do it.
And the main thing, because we've done all the pitfalls of hiring VAs. We tried the cheap route, and that really just made more work for everybody. And then we went to the higher paid, higher skilled route, and not all of them are pan out, but the ones that really kick some ass, they end up leaving a lot of the time. So that's I like how you kind of pay them enough to where they'll stick around, because that's the main thing is losing them. Because they would say, oh, I gotta leave, I gotta burning out, whatever. I'm sure they got another job for a lot more money. I'm just thinking, So I like how you pay them well in the beginning so they'll stick around.
It's that, and also like make them part of something bigger, right? Everybody in our team, doesn't matter what job they do, they are part of Jurny, and they feel like they're part of something special, and we're building something special together. And I think that's something else that, and I don't say all property managers, but some property managers, they just see as like, okay, just here, you do my dirty work. I don't want to do it, and I don't really give you a purpose on why you're doing it. So for us, they're working for multiple different owners, but at the same time, they know they're working for something that is greater, and for a mission that we have together.
That's nice. That's beautiful. Go ahead, Micah.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too, because you got me thinking about my VA. Because what I want to do is I'm trying to structure it so he's the manager, and then he has people that report to him because he's really good, right? So, and
Yep.
I'm thinking like, what's the cost of that? So, making them feel like they're a part of something bigger is huge, because I think Steve touched on it. He said we'll get a good one and then they'll leave, because maybe they found a higher paying job. What have you found to make a VA stick around? Say, hey, I'm going to stay here.
Well, well, number one, like I said, make them feel part of something bigger, and that they're big contributors of that, something that we're building together, and give a sense of growth and career inside of the company, because we have VAs that started as VAs and now they're managers inside of our company. So I think that shows that with senior managers, actually, some of them. So because at the end of the day, we look for talent. Doesn't matter where it's from, doesn't matter how much they're paid, we look for talent, and people know that. But if you work at Jurny, doesn't matter where you are, you might grow into a really high paid role. And that's what we found very successful. It's not easy. It took us a lot of VA leaving as well, and a lot of retraining. And then once you get that critical mass of a few people that are really core to you and love the company, then they're the one. And this is for a company that is scaling into a much larger management company. They're the ones that actually do the hiring, and the one that they're going to be doing the training is not going to be you anymore. So it becomes that self-feeding machine, and they're going to share the same mission that you have given them to the new people.
I like what you mentioned about you're always looking for talent, right? And so many people, they talk about, let's say, Steve Jobs, the genius, right? He built Apple, and we all know the story of Steve Jobs and all that stuff. But what he spent like a big chunk of his time doing, I mean, if you read about him and stuff, he'd go and he'd steal the best talent from other companies. That's what he was doing. He was taking all the best talent from every single competitor and putting them on his team, even though he had to pay him a shitload of money. But I mean, look what it did to Apple.
Yeah. Finding good people is definitely key, especially when you're in a people's business, which is hospitality.
Yeah. So do y'all have a TV commercial yet?
No.
You don't? Can I make one for you?
Well, we have I don't know if you saw if you go to our website, on the second page, we have a video that kind of shows what our ultimate vision was of a guest staying in an automated Airbnb.
Nice, but you need a TV commercial. And here's your TV commercial right now. Jurny, don't stop believing. There, that's it. You can use that. You know what I'm referring to, of course, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think for a couple $1 million, you can use their song in your commercial.
Exactly.
It's worth it, right?
Definitely. At the next round of investment.
Nice, man. Wow, this is cool, man. I didn't know hardly anything about Jurny, except for my partner's been going behind the scenes of what y'all do, liking it, and that's a compliment from someone that's like, he's a real techie. He's looked at all these different ones. We've hopped in and out of different PMSs and stuff like that, and he really likes your product, and that's a high compliment, man. And so another question I was going to ask was, because you mentioned because we have those direct booking sites that we built. We spent a nice penny on them, and plugged it into their current PMS, but so let's say we're gonna go with you guys, and you would sit down with their creators and then just figure out the best way to make your system work inside that website.
Yeah, that's that shouldn't be an issue as long as they're open to the partnership. We're always open to new good partners.
See, I think that's what makes your product so good. I'm going to be making a reel about this soon, because I'm going to be talking about like how to choose the best PMS. And it's with anything. You have to be willing to work with people that are willing to help you grow while they're also growing as well. So I love that you guys are willing. Hey, we'll partner with them. They're willing to play ball. We both can play ball, and we both help each other grow. Because when I first got into this business, I don't want to say any names, but I was partnered with this PMS when I first got in, but they would promise you stuff. And this is about 5 years ago. They would promise you stuff, but they wouldn't quite deliver. But now I'm looking back, I'm like, they probably didn't have the resources at the time to grow and deliver what they wanted to deliver. But it's about just being honest. Hey, we really don't have that right now. We're going to work to get it. And the PMS I'm partnered with now, they'll straight tell me, hey, we're working on that right now. We don't have it. But that's what makes it so good to be a part of them, because they're being honest and they're helping you grow. And then when they do release a feature that you've asked about, they'll tell you, they like, I'll say the PMS that I'm working with now is Hostfully. And I said, hey, I had all these listings inside of my one account, and they were like, hey, if you import, you can't just pick which listings to import. Then a week later, they had that feature. I was like, oh man, so they're willing to work with me, and I'm happy your company's willing to do that. So, good luck to you guys in the future.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to say something, because you mentioned something very interesting, which is something that I have a pretty good expertise on, is selecting the right partners. Whether is Jurny or whoever you want to work with, you said something really good right now, which is don't look necessarily who they say is the best today, but look who's working to become the best and who's making the most progress. Because you know what? Who's best today is not going to be best very soon. And you want to work with the people that are willing to work with you. They're willing to do the changes, and you see that they're working towards becoming the best. That's one of the things, the key things that we found, and we chose to select our partners, because you want partners for a long time. You can't have a partner and then after a month or two, you have to change that partner because it costs you so much resources and time. So you need to find that strong partner that is willing to grow with you. So well said. I wanted to expand on that, because I agree.
Yeah, man, this has been a good one.
Yeah, man, great episode. Real quick before I forget, like if some of our listeners want to try out Jurny, you got any special Live Let Thrive promo code for them?
Well, how about they mention your podcast? we'll give them a discount.
Okay, yeah, mention Live Let Thrive and they'll hook you up.
Awesome.
And Jurny will hook us up.
We'll do too.
We don't have an official sponsor yet, but we're always listening. I'm like, we just started looking.
We'll talk to you after the show.
We'll talk to you after the show, man.
Awesome.
Well, so what is your I don't know, what is your end game with all this, man? What is your future with all this?
It's a long end game. I think the game never ends, right? Like, you always have to improve and always become the best and better. But we want to definitely become the go-to platform for not just Airbnbs and short-term rentals, but also for hotels. And I think that's our ultimate goal.
I dig that.
I like that.
And so you obviously you love what you're doing. You're passionate about it. I see it.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's not. It's kind of like, I don't know. You can't. And I know the feeling, because I'm starting to feel it too. With my company. But you look forward to waking up every morning, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why I'm doing this. And I don't think you can do anything long term for a long time if you don't love what you're doing every day, because it's hard. Whatever you do, you want to be successful, it's going to be really hard. And if you don't have something that motivates you every day, it's hard to continue. And success doesn't come easy. I believe in 10 years overnight success, which is sometimes more like 15 or 20.
now a lot of our listeners they're in the industry, right? And so they come up with ideas that kind of would help in some way or another. I come up with some ideas that'll help. Not exactly tech ideas, but ideas that'll help help a manager get something accomplished, right? You know what I'm saying? And we have people come on the show that have ideas too. Now, what would you suggest to someone that has a really good idea or great idea that they really want to, figure out how to make it work? That's the hardest part. How do you make this thing work? Come from your head to get on the, on the computer and start helping people out. How do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of investors I met along my personal journey, they always said the ideas are like 5% or 1%. Execution is 99. And really is like, ideas. Many people have ideas, but really what makes the difference is executing. And the difference of on executing comes from trying and not be scared of failing, because nobody knows how to do it. I've always been an entrepreneur my whole life, but I failed at many things, and even this idea failed in the past in different ways, right? Not failing as a business, but like you try things and they don't work, and that's okay, because guess what? Nobody knew. Even Steve Jobs didn't know everything at the beginning, right? He became Steve Jobs after working on becoming Steve Jobs, right? I use him because you used him before as an example, but that's how it is. Of course, there's people that are more talented at executing, and then they can learn things quicker. But at the end of the day, it's all about learning how to do it, and it's about constantly pivoting until that idea works. So executing, not be scared of failing, and just going for it. That's the best advice I have.
You heard it from Luca, folks. Get out there and don't be scared to fail, and keep at it. Man, well, thank you for hopping on the show. This has been great. Where can people find you, Luca?
Yeah, they can find us. We're very active on LinkedIn, but also on our, you can find us on our website, jurny.com. And we start becoming kind of active on Instagram as well, so you can find us there too.
Is LinkedIn the new hangout, man? Because I tell you what, I'm not really into LinkedIn too much. I have a profile on there and stuff. I just never. By the time I got to LinkedIn, I was already like, oh man, I had the I go way back. I got the MySpaces, then I got the Facebooks, then everybody's like, you got to get on this Twitter thing, you got to get on this IG thing, and this TikTok. I'm like, by the time LinkedIn got there, I'm like, another social networking thing, But I don't know. I guess it's useful. You like it.
By the way, Steve's partner, Federico, calls him grandpa because of this.
I hate social media, man. I can't help it, but LinkedIn's different, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not a big social media person either, but it's important to get out there. And I think LinkedIn is great for business.
For sure.
Great way to network as well.
Yeah, for sure. It really is, man. Steve, you started a podcast but hate social media, man. You just don't mix. It's like
I love podcasting. I did get a tenant and what pushed them over the top was they had a LinkedIn profile, had the suit and tie on, stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay. And they had decent credit, but there's other people with about the same credit. But I was like, no, I like that person. They got their job thing and they got their whole thing. I was like, no other tenant I've ever interviewed had a LinkedIn profile. So that did push it over for me.
Oh, nice. That's good to know. That's a good advice, especially now that it's hard to get any type of rentals long term. Yeah. From not finding anything to buy to not being able to find anything to rent now. Here in LA, at least.
Exactly, man. But in my LinkedIn profile, I have a wife beater on and whatever. I'm just kidding. Well, thanks, Luca, for putting up with my stupid sense of humor, and thanks for hopping on the show and telling us about Jurny. It sounds like a wonderful company, man. I'm so proud. I'm proud of you. I love it when people come on and they're excited about the thing that they're talking about, and I can see it, man. And you're successful at it. We a lot of people are using it and they're loving it. So I'm not trying to be a commercial for you, but yeah, I like what you're doing and congratulations.
I like the promotion.
Don't stop believing, Luca. Don't stop believing.
That discount is getting bigger.
I love it. Well, cool.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, thank you for having me on the show, and it was a true pleasure. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. We'll be reaching out to you after the show.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
we'll definitely be reaching out to you. And yeah, and thanks for coming on, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Arrivederci. Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Ciao.
See ya.
So,
Man, that was a good episode, man. I really like that product. I really like that product. I really want to know more about it because I'm getting to the point where I'm going to take on a few management properties, but I really rather like pass them off because, like, I just passed off 10 units over to Hello Landing, and they just got me booked on like 3 of them. So I love them. They just basically take it off your hands and take 8%. And then, but you get to tell them what you want to make, and they take their 8% and give you the rest, and your hands off. So then,
and that's for long-term bookings.
Yeah, they're long-term.
Yeah, I just signed up with them. You told me on the last podcast. I just signed up with them.
Yeah. They gotta. Yeah, that one was a pretty good plug, especially on apartments. So, and then that lets me focus on the houses and grow the housing business. And like while we were talking, I'm actually just reached out to my VA because I'm about to see if he wants to, like, see about him moving up in the company. But yeah, man, that was a really good episode. I'm really liking the Jurny thing. So yeah, I'm definitely hopping into that management space a little bit just to have a few, because I'm about to knock off like 5 arbitrages in October. So got to be prepared.
Yeah. One interesting thing he said is, speaking of houses, he said that, houses do better on VRBO, and then 1-bedrooms do better on Airbnb, which that's, there's tons of 1-bedrooms on Airbnb, but I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't know that too well, that houses do better on VRBO. I just didn't.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Oh, now, if you really want to get all the way down into it, what bet does the best? What gets, and I learned this from Mark Simpson, Booking.com really gets the most traffic, like as far as like people coming in. The only thing is you have to worry about damn scammers. I just had one book my place, but I only suggest using Booking.com if you're using the PMS. So like it was a $1,500 reservation, but if you're using a PMS and they don't pay, it comes through the PMS. So then now you just go into Booking.com, say that the card doesn't work, cancel it off, go to the next one. But you get a whole lot of traction on them. The way to get the traction on there, you have to update all the little check boxes, get your content score up, and then people will start looking. But that new property I just launched, it fits right into Airbnb's algorithm because it has a pool and a volleyball court and a tennis court. And so, not all people are able to offer that. And now it boosts it. Same with my timeshares. It boosts it because of the amenities that it offers. So yeah, if you're going to do houses and stuff, I would try to get closer to direct bookings because you're not catering to an algorithm. You're catering to your brand. Right.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Another great episode. 217 in the books. Where can people find us, Micah?
Find us on IG at Live Let Thrive. Find us on, join our email list. Definitely join the email list. Subscribe below. We need them subscribers. Subscribe below. Rate us on iTunes. And our masterclass is coming up August 20th. You might want to go ahead and grab your tickets. It's in the link tree below. And yeah, we hope to see y'all there. And we have a big ass meetup coming up on August 23rd. Some guy called it the short-term rental Mount Rushmore. We're going to have... We're going to have it, Julie George,
Sean Rakovich,
Will Slickers, Noble, a bunch of people. We're all going to be in Dallas August 23rd. We're going to be in Sean's penthouse. He opened it up for us. Shout out to him for that. And y'all definitely got to make it out to that one because that's going to be a really, really good night of just talking some shop. Really good meetup. So we got stuff coming.
If you buy tickets to our masterclass, you get in free to Sean's penthouse for that big event. How about that?
We'll have to see about that. You
just go with it. Just go with it, Micah.
Yeah, see about that. But yeah, sure. I ain't about to invite you to no man's house for free.
We give him a cut, man. We get him a cut of the door. Come on, man.
Yeah. We'll talk to him about it. But yeah, man, it's been fun ride. Y'all continue to listen to us. And by the way, someone did get 50% off the masterclass by coming to our clubhouse calls 7:30. You got to be on those clubhouse calls. I think someone got a 50% off. 2 people got 50% off to the masterclass that we have. So definitely hop on those clubhouses 7:30 Central Time every Wednesday. And we are out.
Peace.
Later.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.